Ladies and gentlemen, we have been working all day, and now it's after work. I'm Joe, and I'm here to talk about the NYC Nintendo Switch event that happened about a week ago from the time that I'm recording this now. The reason I did this a little bit later than just doing it right off the bat was I wanted to give it time, write down some of my thoughts, and just made sure I got across everything that I wanted to get across in this video. You'll notice that a lot on my channel that I'll kind of do things a few days after something big has happened, just to kind of like gather my thoughts and get things here before I properly bring them out to you guys. So I guess I should have mentioned this earlier. I don't know how this goes. I suck at this, but like I guess I should say disclaimer to all this stuff because I was invited to the event because I buy a lot of eShop stuff or Nintendo products in general. I guess that's how that worked. It has nothing to do with me being here on the internet just spewing crap, because if they saw half of my videos, they would cringe. Anything I say or what anyone else here says on this website, always, take it with, your own judgments, make your own decisions, find the games that you want to buy and what interests you, and hopefully you enjoy the Switch when it comes out if you guys are picking it up. With that said, I was at the event. I went to Friday, the first day. We were there for about 3.5 hours. I went with my buddy Pretty Tony. Shout out to Pretty Tony over on Twitch. And the atmosphere itself, before I get into the games and everything, the event space, the atmosphere, like everything that was there was pretty damn awesome and was a really good hype tool to get everyone excited that was there about Nintendo Switch. At least that was my impression from the minute I walked up the stairs to seeing the giant Link Archer styles that was right there before you even got to check in, to the big Mario Kart 8 stage. Then you had like the different forms of play styles for that game, whether it's with the Joy-Con stick, the wheel, the TV screen, or on the go. They had like a little airplane set up there. There was a couple benches for Ultra Street Fighter 4, Bomberman R, and then you walk further down, you have like Skylanders, and then like these booths for 1-2 Switch. I didn't get to play 1-2 Switch, and I'll go into some of the games that I play and in some detail as well. I'll try to keep this video short before I go a little too long. That last Fire Emblem one, I went like 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep it 10 to 15 for you guys. So before we go into sort of my impressions on some of the games that I got to play, I'll let you know what I played. I went through Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's the first one we'll go through. Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Puyo Puyo Tetris. What else? Sonic Mania. I got to play that. Ultra Street Fighter 4. Ultra Street Fighter 4, geez. Ultra Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers. And that was it, so let's get started. Sorry, I moved the camera a little bit. Anyway, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was one of the big games that I was like, I need to play this before I go. Even if I get to play it once for like 5 minutes, that's all I care about. I just want to see the game that I've been waiting for a few years for at this point. I was expecting to get it on the Wii U, and then I was like, all right, well, they've delayed it this long. It's got to be coming out for NX at the time before they announced it as Switch. And I was right in doing so. So got there, and before I even get into anything, I know that there's like been some potential leaks of the story, and all the bosses that you're gonna face, and supposedly like the map that Reggie Fils-Aimé showed during the Nintendo Direct live, the Nintendo Treehouse live stream the next day after the Switch event, Switch presentation. Someone did like a breakdown video. I was like, no, I had to stop. I'm like, if this is all true, I don't want to know about it. And I also will do my best to not provide any spoilers on this channel. I want to go in with the experience of not knowing when I'm playing these games. I want to have the same excitement that you guys do. If you guys are watching me stream the game, because I will be doing it day one, March 3rd, I'll be streaming Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We're going to start this off right. So what I got to play was pretty much what I feel like was mostly seen at the E3 presentation last year, 2016, where they had the whole big 24-hour Zelda, well, not 24 hours, but like it was pretty much Nintendo's main game that they were showing bits and pieces of every time was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think at the time they were showing the Wii U port of that game because they weren't talking anything Switch. And this more or less, if whew, the game looks amazing. Without talking about what I played, although I know I'm okay to talk about it, I don't want to spoil that for you guys. I want you guys to have the same experience. I can tell you that the combat itself is Zelda, very, very Legend of Zelda. However, there's little things here and there as far as like the inventory system goes where you collect more than one item. So I was attacking a bokoblin and you actually can grab their club afterwards, or if it drops, you can pick it up. But that item has the potential to break. So I think of it as like the Deku sticks, but it seems like that's going to go a bit further, one more step, and be that way for multiple items, which I thought was really interesting. I was like, oh crap. Like, I haven't seen that in a while. The game on the TV screen, I guess I'll address this now because this is the one thing that it irked me a little bit, but I guess enough to notice it. When I was playing it on a TV screen, I think it might have been about a 32-inch TV screen, maybe a 27. I was playing it on there. They started you off that way, and I think they gave me like 20 to 25 minutes with the game, and then they started changing up different styles. The game on the TV screen looked, I don't know how to explain the resolution of it, but it did look a little stretched, and you could tell that it wasn't at 1080. Later to find out a couple days ago that I was reading on IGN the differences of the Wii U and the Switch version, and that Switch will output at 900p. So I feel like that might have been the reason why it looked a little bit odd on the TV screen, but not enough to be like, oh, I'm not gonna play this game because the resolution isn't 1080p, 60 frames per second. They've already gone on record to say it's gonna be 30 frames per second anyway. That's not a big deal. Most games do 30 FPS. The resolution thing doesn't really bother me as long as I'm able to play it the way I want to play it. That's fine. Which the way I want to play it is going to be on handheld, because my God, that screen, guys. That Switch console screen is amazing. So it outputs 720p for those of you who are into the specs and whatnot. That game, I'm not gonna lie, the game looks better on handheld than it did on a TV screen, and it could have been that it's because it was a demo build. That can all change, and it can look really great on a TV screen by the time the game comes out. It was just a thing that glared out right at the beginning, first couple of scenes, and I was like, maybe the TV settings weren't right, maybe the 900p on that TV screen just doesn't look right. But there's a bunch of Xbox One games when it first launched that were outputting 900p and they looked fine. They looked great. I think there was just something between a little bit of everything that caused it to look the way it did. I'm sure it'll be fine by the time the game comes out. My whole thing about the Switch was I can take it on the go. You guys know I love my handheld consoles. This damn channel is mostly 3DS games on this channel for all intents and purposes. Yes, I play PS4, I play Xbox One games. You've seen me play all these games on different consoles. But at the end of the day, you know I'm all about that. Where's my 3DS? Shout out to the 3DS right now. Boom. There we go. It's already tethered to my computer, ready to go for Ocarina of Time. But yeah, I got to play on the TV screen, got to play handheld. Also, so when I was playing on the TV screen, I was actually playing with the Joy-Con controllers attached to the control grip, which felt comfortable. That actually felt way more comfortable than I thought. I'm a little upset that pre-order is still not up for the Pro controller right now. I'm waiting patiently, but I'm okay playing that with the Joy-Con grip controllers if the Pro controllers don't come out. It actually does feel comfortable for as weirdly shaped as it looks. It's got the bumps on the back, so that way you feel like your palms wrapped around it. The only thing, so yeah, I play, like, I guess you can say, the claw. So I like to have all my fingers on every single trigger. On the handheld, when I switched it over, they showed it's so easy. Like, there's 2 buttons on the back to pop it off the control grip and then slide it into the Switch. That felt so satisfying. Hearing the sounds, you know how it does the thing? That's exactly that. I was like, oh, that actually does feel pretty satisfying. I put it into the controller the console that was docked, and I was able to take it out. And then from there, continue playing the game on the go. Of course, they didn't allow me to put headphones in. I guess they're worried like there's some way to hack through a headphone jack or something. It's fine. It's their event. They do what they want. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that handheld has a lot that has some weight to it. It's good. So if you're gonna play at night laying down, it's not gonna be like a phone where like if it smacks you on the face, you're not gonna get concussed. You can get concussed if this thing lands on your face. It's got some weight to it. You can break someone with it. Still felt comfortable. It feels sturdy, like I said. Controls again felt fine. The only thing that was noticeable was I couldn't claw at that point. So I guess the Joy-Con grips, I didn't notice it, must have like a lip or something for you to be able to hold it in place. I gotta check it out again, but I feel like I was playing that way on the Joy-Con controller. But yeah, so I can only switch back and forth on one finger, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I just loved how everything else felt on the handheld. It was very satisfying. The screen and the way everything looked on handheld looked way better on that 6-inch screen over the TV screen. I, Man, I'm excited. So the way I'm gonna do, just side note, the way I'm gonna do it on the streams, I'm gonna play the game and the story in its entirety, but I'm also gonna do some stuff on my own on handheld, or maybe I'll make a separate save file where I'll do certain things so that way when I come back and play with you guys, I kind of know the direction that I need to get to. Overall, the world looks massive. The the map that we were on was like let's just say it's like this little circle, and then the guy told me to zoom out, and you zoom out and you kind of just see that big circle just blow up even more. That's probably a terrible analogy for it, but basically I'm saying that dot of the map they said was like 1% of the game, which is why I say I think it was the same demo that was at E3, because they were saying more or less the same thing, and then they zoom out on the map and it's just like it's ridiculous. That game is huge as far in terms of like how large the land is. Enemies where I were at were pretty quiet, but knowing that it's Legend of Zelda, I don't think you want to throw a bunch of enemies in a place and always constantly battling to get to the next destination over and over and over. A lot of Zelda is the ambiance and the travel and the adventure and just wandering around and looking at everything going on and wondering what the hell is off over in the distance over there. Can I climb that thing? Can I roll on this tree and get a freaking Skulltula to come out and get this collectible item? That's a lot of what Legend of Zelda is about. Is is just that moment where you're by yourself and you're like, can I make it through this? And I feel like they're hitting that tone right now. So the game itself, if you guys haven't seen trailers already, that epic voiceover trailer with the voiceovers at the end of the Switch presentation, holy crap. It everything sounds and feels good. I got to play it with headphones when I was watching it through the TV, but once on handheld, like I said, didn't get to use any more headphones. I kind of heard the volume, but everything was just so loud you really couldn't hear what was going on at that point. From then on, I was just enjoying the 20-25 minutes that I got to play with the game. So the last way I did get to play was with the Pro Controller. Later on, towards the end of the event, I went back, and it was actually like you were able to just go up to a console and play it, which was amazing. So I guess people were leaving since they felt like they played everything. And that Pro Controller, man, that got me even more upset, because I'm like, damn, when is this thing gonna get pre-ordered? Europe is already getting their pre-orders. Shout out to Ruby Ash. I think he got his Pro Controller, or his girlfriend got his Pro Controller. I'm like, jealous. But again, that Pro Controller just felt, and thank you, Nintendo, for putting the joysticks in their proper positions. No more of this 2-up thing. Just no. I can't. Flashbacks. So to sum it up for Legend of Zelda, beautiful game, very large world. Atmosphere is right on point in my opinion. Handheld is my personal way to go. TV screen. It was a demo build. I'm not too sure if it's gonna look any different. I'm sure it by the time the game comes out, it will. but that did concern me a little, just a little bit. It's not enough to be like, oh, I'm not gonna play this game, like I said before. It's more about gameplay and story for me over the resolution of a freaking game. Joy-Con controller felt comfortable, especially with that game, more so than I thought. And it's Legend of Zelda. I mean, it's kind of hard to mess that up, but I think when you guys get to play the game, you'll know what timeline this takes place in fairly quickly. All right, up next, Splatoon 2. That was the one of the first games that I had played when I got to the event. We did a 4v4 match where everyone was on handhelds and it was weird because so I have Splatoon, I've played Splatoon, very comfortable game to play on the gamepad, and the best way to play it is with the gyroscope because it's just easier to aim that way. However, since it was an event, everything was sort of locked down. Like they had like the big giant lock cable around it, and it was just like every time I tried to aim with the gyroscope, I really didn't feel like it was just way too much weight for me to move around with the gyroscope. So I would try to move with the right camera stick when I would be battling, and I just it would every slow jerk would actually shift the thing, even my crosshair even more because the gyroscope is activated. So you have to like keep it super still, but even if I move a little bit to like get out of someone's way that's like walking by, then it jerks it and my aim is off. So I'm sure that'll be fixed by the like I'm sure that won't be the issue when the game comes out this summer because I won't have a giant cable tethered to it. But I'll probably be playing with Pro Controller or Joy-Con grip anyway. The game itself, super fun, looks really pretty. It's Splatoon all over again. They had one of the new weapons that they announced during the during the conference. I'm laughing about it now because it was just great. You gotta love Japan sometimes. Splatoon 2. The colors, the lighting, everything looked really nice. We played one of the new fields. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was, but it was one of the new ones. I think did they show it off the Nintendo Treehouse? I might have missed it, but if they did, you probably saw that map on there. They had the three other weapons that have previously been in the last Splatoon, one of them being the roller, which the roller still seems like a pain in the butt to avoid. My goodness, I need to step up my Splatoon game. If there's anyone that plays Splatoon out there, let me know. I'll jump on and we'll get things going. So since we were playing on handheld, I was actually able to utilize the touchscreen. They didn't say anything about it being touchscreen. It did work. It's sort of the same way it works on the Wii U gamepad on the first Splatoon, where if you're at the beginning of the battlefield, you can actually just tap on the map screen and go to where your nearest buddy is. And I think you could do it like mid-battle too, just tap the screen and the map comes up, and then choose where you want to go to your nearest teammate to sort of help them out in need. We won one of the two matches. I should have kept going with the dual splatties, that new weapon, because I was actually wrecking shop with it, despite the fact that my gyroscope kept getting in the way of me using the right stick camera. It was it was fun. It was fun. But we were the first team that day, that afternoon, that won on the right side. So it was like they split 4 people on the right side, 4 people on the left side. Left teams apparently kept winning, and so nobody on the right side, whenever they would step up, would win. So I'm proud we got the first win that day for the right side. So that was a shorter summation than Breath of the Wild, but I figured you guys get the picture. It's more Splatoon. It's fun. And I'm excited to play that when the game comes out. And if you guys are picking up a Switch and getting Splatoon as well, let me know, comments down below. We'll have some stream nights with that for sure. Speaking of stream nights, oh my god, I'm excited for this. Mario Kart 8. I think it's coming out in April, towards the end of April, the 28th. I feel like I saw that date get posted up after the Switch event, which was really weird. That event in general was just like they announced. It was a great presentation, but they gave some of the bad news, but none of the good news to follow up with certain things. But overall, it was an enjoyable presentation, despite the wacky translation parts that didn't correlate well from Japanese to English. All right, so Mario Kart 8, another stream night that's going to keep happening once that game comes out. think it's April 28th. I'll correct that date below me if it's not. There's a few new things in that game, and again, I only caught part of the Treehouse presentation at the morning after the Switch press conference. But when I got to play the game, there's more than just new characters and new courses. They have the battle mode like they announced during the presentation, which I flipped out about, and I was like, yes, this is Mario Kart 64 for me all over again. I'm ready to tear shop on you guys. Be ready, please. Okay, so you got characters: King Boo, the two Inklings, Splatoon, Inkling Boy and Inkling Girl. Dry Bones is in it. Shout out to Greg Miller. I know I'm sure he was very excited about that. They also have another item, which is the feather. That I haven't seen that thing since Super Mario Kart on the Super NES. The feather is basically, you get the feather and then you can jump over obstacles, which is awesome. That's a classic item. That is a super classic item. I'm glad that's back. The other new item, which I didn't get to see, was Boo. So apparently Boo's an item in this game. I don't know if that one's been in any other ones. I had Mario Kart 8 and then I kind of like slacked off before that. So I think the last one I played Mario Kart Wii for a little bit, but not enough to know the courses and know the items that were in that game. But if someone wants to correct me down below, please let me know. But the feather is only available in battle mode, so that way you can jump over like the course that we played. Pretty Tony, like I was saying earlier, that he was with me. It was a square course. It was from, I think it was the Super Circuit battle mode course in Super NES. The one from Super NES is battle mode, which that was super classic. That was a throwback with the colors, the rainbow colors around on the bricks. And I was just like, oh man, this is classic. This is gonna be fun. My only qualm with the game is, so I told you guys about how Joy-Con grip control made the Joy-Con controller itself, the two Joy-Cons put together on the grip, felt comfortable on handheld. Pro controller felt comfortable. Playing with a single Joy-Con controller is not comfortable, at least for me. I feel like I'm gonna need accessories for the Joy-Con single controller by itself. I played it with the wheel attachment. That felt fine, but I'll get to this later. I played another game with just the Joy-Con itself, and that thing is way too small for me. Especially if you're using the right Joy-Con. The right Joy-Con has the home button next to the joystick. The best way I can probably explain it is, so let's just take this part of the Joy-Con real quick, and let's say the home button would have been right there, sort of. My thumb would hit where the home button would be. So I'm like, that's a complete disadvantage for one of the right controllers. It didn't feel comfortable, and then the buttons up on top didn't feel comfortable. Sorry, gamepad, you're gonna have to stay there. The single Joy-Con to the horizontal, that's a way of gameplay that I can't do. It's just way too uncomfortable for me. I was joking about this, but I really do hope that they'd come out with like an XL version of the Joy-Con controllers themselves. That would be nice, or just something with a little more spacing on that control pad. So I'll probably play Pro Controller, or I'll play Joy-Con grip with that game, because that's not happening with single Joy-Con. No, I need my own Joy-Con controller. But it did feel comfortable when I had an accessory attached to it. So I actually pre-ordered from PDP. It was that's the brand. They do they've worked with Nintendo in the past. They did like a lot of amiibo stands. The Super Mario one with the flag at the end, that's one of the ones. So if you don't know who they are, they have the controller shell grip for the Joy-Con single controllers. I'll put a picture of it so you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's a 2-pack for $14.99, so I pre-ordered that. I was like, in the event that I need to use these for whatever reason, I have them there. If I absolutely have to use a single Joy-Con controller for something, then I have that, because I need something else to hold on to aside from that Joy-Con controller. It's just completely uncomfortable, single-handedly horizontal. But if they do an XL version of that, it doesn't need to be Wiimote sized, but, you know, reasonably sized for like like how you guys made the 3DS XL. Where is my 3DS XL? Boom, 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 boom. Good. And I forgot to mention earlier, Bowser Jr. is also a new character in Mario Kart 8. Overall, like I said, it's Mario Kart. It's Mario Kart 8 all over again, with just some new characters, battle courses, battle mode, which is brand new to Mario Kart 8, new characters, and a couple of new items. So there is reason to pick up the game if you haven't owned a Wii U, or if you had a Wii U didn't pick up Mario Kart 8, or if you're just abandoning your Wii U altogether and want to pick up a Switch. I would say Mario Kart 8 you're going to have a lot of fun with, especially if you have friends that you play with, whether it's online or local local couch co-op basically, which that's another thing that I noticed Nintendo has been pushing a lot with the marketing ads, and even in the presentation, like a lot of it was like playing with other people in your house, which I thought was really nice. So it's the friends, the family, the parties, that's what this console seems to be gearing towards. So for anyone who says that Nintendo doesn't know who their audience is, I thought it was pretty clear. All right, so these last four I'll knock out pretty quick. And speaking of knocking out, ARMS. Damn, that's a good segue. I'm sorry, I'm very proud of that one. That just came off the top of the dome, completely unscripted. Anyway, ARMS. This was a lot more fun than I was expecting. I knew when you guys watched the live stream with me, I'll leave a link in the description down below or a card over there. I was like, okay, this is a total party game. This is another one, just like 1-2 Switch, which I didn't get to play because I was like, okay, it's WarioWare. I get that. I'm sold. You don't need me to do anything else. It's a fun fighting game. So you need two Joy-Con controllers to fight each other. I have an accessories video coming out which explains all the pricing and everything. But basically, you're going to have to shell out another $80 if you want to play with someone in your house, because you need your left and right for both characters. We played with the straps. The Joy-Cons, when you buy them either single or in the pack together, they do come with the Joy-Con straps. So keep that in mind. You don't need to spend the extra $7.99 to get the additional straps with it, which is great. You hold them in your hands and you can move around like you're almost like if you're in a mech suit. And one of the characters, which I swear looks like Tron Bon, I even said it there, and the guy that was demoing it with us, did this dude just say she looks like Tron Bon? I like this guy. I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. But you move around with the motion. It's all motion based, so kind of like how Punch Out was on the Wii, is sort of how this goes. However, each character definitely they worked on each fighter. This is Nintendo's fighting game, is basically what it comes down to, outside of Smash Brothers. Your characters, some of them are better close up, some of them from a distance. When I was playing with Machina, that's the person that I said was Tron Bon. She's definitely a defensive and stay away player. You don't want to get too close up and battling her. Each character has like 3 items that you can choose, and you actually choose different items for the left hand and you choose different items for the right hand so you kind of can, mess around, mix it up, and see what works best for you. They even have like EX meters, so you can do a super hit where the character does something, and then you start just wailing away like this, and I'm sure you guys can hear the wind going like that, and then it's just like a bunch of combo hits on it. It's actually really, really fun. Ribbon Girl was the other person that I played with. She's more of a faster. She's got like 2 jumps. That's the other thing. Like certain characters can have multiple jumps, or some characters are faster than the others. One might be slightly stronger than the other one, so you want to kind of like play the chip game with them. They really thought about this game. But overall, I still think that this is more of a party game than going to be. I don't think we'll see this at EVO. And if we do, I'm going to get started playing this professionally. I'm sorry. Dude, it was fun. It was good. You do need some space, though, to play that game, because there's going to be some physical contact if you're playing too close to your partner. All right, so the last 3: Ultra Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers, Puyo Puyo Tetris, and Sonic Mania. Ultra Street Fighter 2, the new challengers, has the last two challengers, and it's the first two characters, first new characters in 20 years since Super Street Fighter 2 on SNES, that they've added characters. So Violent Ken and Evil Ryu, we all know who Evil Ryu is. I have never heard of Violent Ken, but apparently he was in an SNK versus Capcom game. If someone can confirm that, I've never played any of the SNK versus Capcom games. But apparently, Violent Ken is a brainwashed. Like if Ken was abducted by Bison's, what's Bison's thing, Shadowloo, and he got brainwashed. That's what Violent Ken becomes, and it's pretty much more or less the same thing with Evil Ryu, where Evil Ryu just gives into the Hado, whatever, the thing that happened to Akuma happens to Ryu, is basically what it comes down to. And just he has a bloodlust for fighting and wanting to become the strongest person in the world, which he kind of is already, isn't he? I mean, the dude's beat Akuma. I don't know if that's canon or not, but wasn't that in a movie, the cartoon movie? Just saying. So if you guys bought the Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD remix from 2008, I know that name sounds ridiculous, but it was an actual title. It's this version, slightly prettier in terms of the animations. Like, they actually updated the graphics a little bit. They made a few tweaks to the characters, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a thing. I read this off Capcom Unity as well, just to make sure that I had the information right. You can do the pixel art mode, so you can play it like classic Street Fighter 2, or you can do the retro graphics that they've updated themselves. Capcom has updated to make it look nicer. And also, there's a mode where you can get the you can play against your friend, or you can basically, you know, 1 versus 1, or you can team up with your friend and battle the computers, basically. So I don't know if that'll be integrated into an online play of some sort, but I would like to see that, because that kind of reminds me of the 2v2 on Street Fighter 4, because that had it. I would play with my brother. Me and my brother would be on the same team, and we would. It basically, how it works is, if this is gonna work the same way, two people battle, and then whoever loses, the second person then fights the winner again, and it's just like a constant switch around. You keep rotating the characters until, you know, eventually whoever's two characters gets finished off first wins. So I always thought that was pretty cool. Overall, it's Street Fighter 2 for the umpteenth time. If you haven't owned it on another console already, it's not necessary to get this version. What I thought was interesting was, however, Yoshinori Ono, creator of Street Fighter, he was at the event Sunday. I was there Friday, so I didn't get to see him. I was a little upset about that. One day, Yoshinori Ono, I'm gonna meet you. But anyway, Yoshinori Ono was there. I don't know if he did this interview there, or if this was like caught somewhere else before the event. This particular version is going to be Nintendo Switch exclusive for now. The way they're determining that is if people are really going out to buy this game, and then they'll think about, if it does well on Switch, they'll port it to other consoles. So it's on the Switch fans whether or not they pick this up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just, moving on. Puyo Puyo Tetris. It's Puyo Puyo and Tetris put together. There's different modes to the game, but the mode that they were really adamant about demoing, this was the first game that I played as soon as I got there. It was all the way in the back. I was like, oh, awesome, let's do this. First off, faced off against Pretty Tony, and there's a mode called swap mode. So every 30 to 60 seconds, you switch out between Tetris and Puyo Puyo, but whatever moves you have left in each game that you're facing against the other person, it still stays there. So you continue off as you're switching every 30 seconds. So if you have like half your Tetris field filled up, it's going to stay that way when it switches over to Puyo Puyo. It's sort of like with that Tetris Attack, where you build up bricks, or even in any Tetris game that's come out within the last few years at this point. If you're facing someone, when you're battling someone and you get like a bunch of bricks and you get like chaining combos and whatnot, you can actually impact the other person's screen and add more silver bricks to their space. So you're kind of screwing them over and building them up and sort of battle. I whooped it in that. It's a wrap. No one can handle me right now. Tetris champion. Let's do this. Another game. I'll face you guys. I'll do a Puyo Puyo Tetris if anyone's down for it. You can't handle this. Can't handle this. And the last game I'll talk about real quick, Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania was a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I was going to be like, oh, okay, cool. They remix classic stages of like games of stages that I played when I was a kid. Loved Sonic. 3 was my personal favorite. I loved 1 and 2, but 3 has a very special place in my heart. And I felt like when I played Green Hill Zone, it was a complete love letter to me because I played the stage. First off, you can play Sonic with Tails right off the bat, and you could do the same thing that you always did in Sonic 2, where you leave Tails behind and he's trying to fly and catch up. Second player can play as Tails or Miles per hour. You see what I did there? That was intentional. That's why they named him Miles per hour, because Miles per hour, and his nickname is Tails. Fun fact. Anyway, I was playing Green Hill Zone, and they threw like so many Sonic 3 references in that stage alone. They had the power-ups, they had the bubble, and the electric shield I found. I was like, oh, wait, oh, this is Sonic 3. And the dude next to me was like, yeah, you know. I was like, dude, I'm like, I started shaking. I was like, holy crap. Okay, I may need to pick, I don't know, maybe it's just off the nostalgia that they're feeding off from me right now, because they're winning if they're trying to capture nostalgic fans with this game, with the one stage that I played. I'm like, oh crap, I wasn't gonna really pick this up. I was like really on the fence about not picking this up. And the fact that they have these like different Sonic 3 elements in this game, like they really thought about like mixing it up and pulling in different things from the one stage alone that I played. Granted, like, take everything that I'm saying with a grain of salt right now. I'm not telling you to go out and buy this game. I'm just saying, from my personal opinion and myself, I want to now pick this up because of what I played so far and what I enjoyed. And I even found the ring in Sonic 3 in that stage. It was hidden, but since it was a demo build, it was actually like what's it called? The wireframe. It was wireframed. So it wasn't like fully complete, but it was like, okay, this is where this is going to be, which is awesome. So I'm hoping that that ring leads to the Sonic 3 Emeralds. I really love Sonic 3. It's one of my favorite games of all time. That game with the Sonic and Knuckles pack is the definitive way to play that game. So the fact that a lot of that stuff was thrown into here, Sega, you have me on this one. Thank you. And of course, you can also play Knuckles the Echidna. I mean, if you really want to cheat around and climb up on walls to get everything, if you're a complete jerk like that, then yeah, you can play as Knuckles. Breaks the entire game. But yeah, overall, might be a decent Sonic game. Not gonna say it's gonna blow it out of the water. Might be a decent Sonic game. For once. Since Sonic Adventure Battle 2. Really like that game. Live and learn, hanging on the edge of tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about these games, what I could do better with these impression videos. Should I make them shorter? Should I make them a little bit more long form? I want to cater this to you guys so that way I know what I should be talking about that will interest you, or what I shouldn't be talking about. I know I veer off on subjects sometimes from time to time, so I try to keep it as close-knit as possible and try to keep it to, I try to land the plane, as some would say. And if you guys have any questions about the games that I played or about the Switch in general, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to do another video with like your questions, and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. So before I go, there's been a ton of videos up. We just finished up Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Ocarina of Time is still going. Left 4 Dead 2. All those videos that I did on my Twitch stream are going up on the channel as well. We just started Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, so those will be going up soon. I had an awesome time streaming that. I got super frustrated, but at certain points, but we finished the first dungeon at least. So I think from this point forward, I know what to expect with this game, and I'm a little more prepared going in. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more like this. I'll also be doing some of these little bits and pieces of like these little slices of impressions and my own opinions on these video games during the afterwork show as well. So I'll leave a link for the pilot episode that I did in the cards over there or in the description down below. You can check either one. They'll both be there for you guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Take care. Love y'all.